I've been meditating for years, and this is the number one thing you have to realize. You're not meditating so that you can manifest this or that. It's not a manifesting tool. It's not what all these mainstream people are telling you in order to sell you a course about manifesting, and it's certainly not something you do in order to get something like being a realized being like the Buddha or Ramana Maharshi. And that's what blocks most people because they falsely identify with their ego. Everything they do, it's in order to get something or get somewhere. And that's what is the big issue, because in reality, you're operating from the false self. You're falsely identifying with this physical body that is separate from everything and everyone, basically. So meditation is not about getting something, it's about letting go of everything. It's about practicing simply being aware, because that's the true source of your being. So your mind has been in a state of restlessness. That's the nature of the mind. It always wants to chase or change something, and it never stops. And it's even more because your eyes are open, so there's so much information going into your brain right now. So that's why closing your eyes, no longer moving any part of your body, vastly reduce the activity in your brain. So there's still thoughts, but no longer thought about your body or about the world or about all this information. I need to do this, that, all these colors, everything happening. And this is why it's much easier to focus on the self that is actually aware of the thoughts. So meditation is not something you do in order to become enlightened. It's simply you going in the opposite direction of your programming, which is outward, constantly looking at the world in order to get something from it, and going at the source of your being, trying to find the source of your being, which is silence, stillness, peace, happiness. That's your true being. And if you go within yourself, you can actually find it. That's the truth. And once you have this realization that there is nothing in this world that can bring you the happiness or the peace that you're looking for, because it is the real you that is hiding, even though it's not really hiding, but it's there. But because there's so much layers of garbage, so much information that you don't need above, and that you falsely identify with your ego, it became a really big challenge to actually be still and silent for long enough so that you can find peace within. But when you do, you will stop having this needy energy, because this is the part of you that always wants to chase or change something because it doesn't feel whole, it doesn't feel happy, it doesn't feel at peace. So meditation helps you realize who you truly are and what is your ego, and create a space between both so that you can choose to be yourself, the true self, the infinite awareness that you are, and no longer always just be with the ego. And every time you have a thought, to keep engaging with it over and over so that it becomes like a prison for your experience. When you are the infinite awareness, the thoughts are there, but they just pass through and you no longer care. You're the sky behind the clouds. You're not jumping into the clouds and using them to define who you are and what your experience is going to be. So meditation, again, is the practice. It's a practice of awareness. That's the simplest term I can find. And since you are awareness, it's a practice of returning to the source of your being. And when you can do that, you stop chasing, wanting, needing. And the paradox is that it's when you stop trying to control outcomes that you actually experience having some kind of control because you can choose the right things spontaneously. When you operate from the ego, you chase the things that you actually shouldn't. You're not letting the perfect intelligence of awareness guide you and put in front of you the right things, the right circumstance. You're trying to force things because the present moment, life is not perfect. There's a problem, I need to fix it, and you operate under that assumption deep within yourself. When you let go of that, because you return to your true self, perfect intelligence organize things for you, and you realize in meditation that everything is as it is, and that's the way it should be. You don't need to fix anything, and you don't need to fix yourself. You're just identifying with thoughts and stories, and you can let go of them. You can choose to let go of them. That's where your free will comes in play. Because you cannot choose all your thoughts, and your thoughts don't have to create or shape your reality. They do because you jump into them and engage with them and identify with them and continue this mental chatter. But the thought came, and a lot of the time it came from the past, or it came from an experience, but you were brought to that experience because of all these thoughts from the past. So it appears as free will, but it's illusory. But when you stop engaging with the thoughts, a lot of them go away like clouds. And then you have more clarity, more freedom. The light comes to you and you can just be the light. And because you no longer have this needy energy, you're not trying to control outcome, you're not trying to get or chase or change something, you operate from total acceptance. That's where freedom comes into play. And that's what makes you, quote unquote, magnetic. This whole law of attraction, manifesting to become magnetic, is just the ego trying to control outcomes. You don't have to try to control anything. You can be free and then interact with the present moment and choose. And let go of trying to fix anything. You're not a fixer. The source of your being is infinite awareness. You're just having a dream. But you can go back to being infinite awareness and no longer falsely identify with this character that has a story that is not perfect and you're trying to fix that story over and over. Just stop being that story. Be infinite awareness. Be at peace with yourself, with the present moment. And let go of any needy energy, any fear, any lack, any illusion.